यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So there we study the book. So in that immediately we offer Mangalacharan and start. So anyways, I just got carried away with that schedule. So here Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5, Chapter 11, Shloka number 10. So Gandhakriti Sparsha Rasa Shravamsi Visarga Ratyarthi Abhijalpa Shilpaha Ekadasham Svikaranam Mameti Shayyam Aham Dvadasham Eka Ahu. Okay. We'll just chant and repeat. Gandhakriti Sparsha Rasa Shravamsi Visarga Ratyarthi Abhijalpa Shilpaha Ekadasham Svikaranam Mameti Shayyamaham Dvadashameka Ahu. Gandhakriti Sparsha Rasa Shravamsi Visarga Ratyarthi Abhijalpa Shilpaha Ekadasham Svikaranam Mameti Shayyamaham Dvadashameka Ahu. Gandhakriti Sparsha Rasa Shravamsi Visarga Ratyarthi Abhijalpa Shilpaha Ekadasham Svikaranam Mameti Shayyamaham Dvadashameka Ahu. Gandha, smell. Akriti, form. Sparsha, touch. Rasa, taste. Shravamsi, and sound. Visarga, evacuating. Rati, sexual intercourse. Arthi, movement. Abhijalpa, speaking. Shilpaha, grasping or releasing. Ekadasham, 11th. Svikaranam, accepting as. Mama, mine. Iti, thus. Shayyam, this body. Aham, I. Dvadasham, 12th. Eka, some. Ahuhu, have said. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sound, touch, form, taste and smell are the objects of the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses. And speech, touch, movement, evacuation and sexual intercourse are the objects of working senses. Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks, this is my body, this is my society, this is my family, and this is my nation, and so forth. This 11th function, that of the mind, is called the false ego. According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function, and its field of activity is the body. Purport. There are different objects for the 11 items. Through the nose we can smell, by the eyes we can see, by the ears we can hear. In this way we gather knowledge. Similarly, there are karmendriyas, the working senses, the hands, legs, genitals, rectum, mouth and so forth. When the false ego expands, it makes one thing. This is my body, family, society, country, etc. Jai. So here we see that in the yesterday's purport or the shloka, it is mentioned about the different senses that are there, and there is also false ego. And so these 11 items, in this way there are 11 items for the mind's functions. So, and then the objects of the senses such as the sound, touch, the organic activities such as evacuation and stuffs like that, and the different types of bodies, society, friendship and personality are considered by the learned scholars the field of activity for the function of the mind. So there is there are two things that are there, that is mentioned here. One is the senses and the sense objects, and the sense objects are also here considered to be the field of activity for the functions of the mind. So the mind functions in this realm. So these are all the tools with which the mind actually functions. And this one is nicely portrayed here. So for the false ego, so it is mentioned that Svikaranam mameti, so like these functions, when the conception that comes, these actions that are happening, or the way in which the particular thought process is going on, so that is me, to accept that as oneself, that is called as the false ego. And here we see that the primary person that orchestrates everything is the mind. So but we also understand from Bhagavad Gita that one should use the spiritual intelligence to cut the material sense gratification, or to cut the actions of the mind, and put the intelligence as the strongest thing. So many times this question comes, so if intelligence is the strongest thing, so why the mind is, it takes the central seat, be it material activity and also in the spiritual activity. In advanced spiritual activity, which is the prominent thing? Mind or intelligence? Mind is a prominent thing. And in advanced material activities also, the mind is a prominent thing, because that's the one which is actually directing and all the aspects. And then sitting places of lust. What are the sitting places of lust? Senses, mind and intelligence. All these places it actually contaminates, but primarily the mind is taken as the culprit. So the mind is the one which is supposed to be worked upon, and to control the mind, intelligence is required. So why is this gradation? So when there is a conscious activity to make a change in the direction, so then the mind cannot be allowed to act as it is. So the mind on its spontaneous way, like the spontaneity comes from the mind and discretion comes from the intelligence. So when the direction is good, so then there is no need of any discretion. So if the direction is wrong, so then there is discretion. We need to take a course change and things like that. So like that, it is very important that in the spiritual practice, sharpening one's spiritual intelligence is very, very essential. And also this recently, we have been discussing about this aspects of Sharanagati. And in the aspects of Sharanagati, the first two elements are the do's and don'ts of the spiritual life. So which requires a lot of intelligent activity. So the intelligent activity is that to identify what is favorable and identify what is unfavorable, and then diligently and consciously we need to actually practice these two elements. So then it makes it helps us to actually progress in Krishna consciousness. So without that, it is not possible for us to make progress in Krishna consciousness. So there is a lot of importance of the intelligence actually comes to play, and understanding that mind is not our friend, and then working on the mind to actually make it a friendly element, where it supports Krishna consciousness. So now this is many times we get this one of if I know what is right, I can just follow it. So but it is not as simple as it. So because there is what all the things that we are equipped with, and there are different instruments or different machines that are given. So yantra rudani maya. So there are different parts of these machines, and these different parts of the machines, they work in a particular way, and we have to get the work done through that particular machine. Right? So the mind generally works in a way no karanam guna sangosya. So we just have option to get association with particular guna. once we get association with that particular guna, so then we'll be conditioned to act in that particular way. That's the way the mind is designed actually. So we become conditioned to act in a particular way, even whether we like it or not. It just forces us to work in a particular way. So for that matter, like Krishna mentions that Arjuna is telling that now I want to take sannyas. I want to take sannyas because like this whole arrangement of battle and things like that, it's going to be troublesome. Why? Because I cannot enjoy if I win. And then why I cannot enjoy? Because these people are my relatives, and without them I cannot enjoy. And it's only destruction on that side and this side. So I'm not able to see anything good that is coming out of this battle. So the best thing is that I would like to take sannyas, and I'll go to the forest. And one of the arguments that Krishna gives is that you see, you have a particular nature, and you have to engage according to your nature. Even nobody can be there idle even for a moment. Everybody will be pushed to act according to their particular natures. It is not possible for you to be idle, or it is not possible for you to do something else which is not conducive for your nature. In one lecture I was hearing that even if you go to the forest, you will fight there. Better you fight here only. So it was so this one key, in this way the mind's conditioning is like that. It's just like if you have a vehicle, and which can go at a particular speed, and the lowest speed that it can go is 50 kilometers, and then the highest speed, maybe 200 or something like that. So then we have to adjust with it. This is how it works, and we have to adjust with that particular this ones. So in the same way, we see that here is a instrument that is given to us. So if I want to do a particular activity in this way, so then it requires a lot of training. This instruments requires a lot of training. It has to be conditioned again in a particular way to work. That's how the mind works. So if I keep exposing myself to mode of goodness over a period of time, so then because of association with mode of goodness, so this will get conditioned to mode of goodness, and it will work in the mode of goodness. And if I try to practice the Krishna conscious elements, as it is mentioned, so the one of the ways that this kind of this one is advised to be controlled is by the way of abhyasa. So by the way of abhyasa, repeated practice, and that's how we see that in all spiritual practices, there is a solid abhyasa that is there. So we also have our abhyasa of the morning program, chanting, and then study of the scriptures and things like that. So this abhyasa has to be put, and when this is put, so how it is actually acting upon us, so it is actually training the mind. The mind likes to do things in a particular way, but we are again reconditioning this mind, and over a period of time, so when the mind is put through this whole ordeal, so then it becomes very favorable environment. The mind becomes conditioned to that particular environment, and then it just functions. So this is in one very long back, I heard this particular instance or this particular explanation, and it made a lot of sense to me. That when a living entity is to be put in a body of a lower species, for example pig, so then it is like the living entity is taken to the hellish kind of an environment where he is put into an obnoxious pit, and then he tolerates for some, he's unable to tolerate, then after that he comes to the level of tolerance, and after that he comes to the level of eating, and then accepting, and then that becomes identified with the sense object. So then he is given the body of a pig, and happily he eats the stool. There is no tension at all for him. So like that. So the sense object is first programmed in the mind. This is the sense object, and this is how this is what actually can give you happiness. And in this world also we see that, so the Shravanam Kirtanam, so in the material world, so they keep talking about when the children are small, so they don't have much idea of what is the world and things like that. And then when they grow up, they are been fed This is what is the status, and this is what, if you get, it's accepted as something good, and if you have these things, so then you are a happy person. These kind of definitions are actually programmed into, and people suffer because of those definitions, and we are also redefining, saying that if you can hear your chanting nicely, so that's nice happy situation. If you can read properly, that's happy situation. If you can nicely render service, so, or if you can think of, okay, like I'm trying to do this thing for the pleasure of the Lord, so while executing the service, if you can think of doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, so like this, these things are considered to be the happy situation. These things are considered to be the ideal situation, and we program it. We program it by the way of studying of Srimad Bhagavatam, where these solid this ones are established. So quite often this question is asked, like that we don't feel so bad if the chanting doesn't go well. So then like that is a condition of mind, that's state of mind. So why is it so? So because we have not sufficiently heard about it, and we have not sufficiently re-emphasized and made it so solid. The mind is still not programmed to that extent that this is the most important thing of my life. So devotional service is the most important thing. So if that gets hampered, we are not disturbed. So if material life gets hampered even little bit, so then so much of disturbance comes. Even some wrong rating in the office, है ना, तो तब नहीं आता है कि चलता है चैंटिंग में भी तो कभी सुनता है कभी नहीं सुनता है, इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, तो एक रॉन्ग रेटिंग है क्या फर्क पड़ता है. And then if somebody speaks in such a way that it affects our ego, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, तो ठीक है, कुछ तो बोल दिया, बोलने दो. ऐसा नहीं होता ना, इट बिकम्स वेरी स्ट्रांग, ऐसा कैसा बोल दिया इन्होंने, है ना. सो इन दैट वे द वेरी सेम एक्सपीरियंस वी शुड एक्चुअली ब्रिंग इट टू दैट ऐसा कैसा हो गया आज, चैंटिंग ठीक से नहीं हुआ. सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी हैव टू आस्क, दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू, द रियल सिकनेस or real feeling of sickness should come that I am not able to do my spiritual practice nicely. I am not able to do things in the mood of service nicely, right? So in that way, I am sick, when will I actually become all right? When will I become normal? When will I think of the service of the Lord, the service of the Lord as the primary thing? That natural thought process, when will it actually come? So this kind of thought process actually is very nice for very nice for a sadhaka. So then that actually becomes conducive for him to execute nicely. And this state of mind, for the material things, it is just the exposure to that particular thing. But for spiritual things, there is one more important element that is needed. What is that? We are exposing ourselves to Krishna conscious environment. So more than that, what is needed? Okay, that's taken. That's within our capacity. So
proper path to receive that.
No, association is what we are exposing ourselves. Mercy, yeah, that's a very key aspect, because it is Swayam eva spuratyada. It is not going to be I'll just associate with Lord and I'll become Krishna conscious. No, it is not possible. So I have to associate with the Lord with a mood of service, and it is also an aspect that needs to be blessed upon me. So it is not, the remembrance of the Lord is not a very, it's not an easy thing. It's something that has to be blessed upon me, right? So in that way, we try our best, in the process of, by following all the rules and regulations that are given by the acharyas, and we anticipate the mercy of the Lord. And when the Lord becomes pleased, he actually blesses us, that we may have the remembrance of him. So I always remember this sloka, which is very I like this sloka very much, that tesham eva anukampartam aham ajnana jamtamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. So in this, recently I heard in one lecture this one of the meaning of this anukampa. So anukampa means, what is it? Anukampa means special favor. So this is something very nice, like the etymological meaning of this. I heard it was very nice actually. So kampa means what? Shivering. Anukampa means shivering along with. So it's like, so that means the Lord is actually, he's not just thinking that he stays with the living entity, and then he also feels the pain that the living entity actually goes through, as a sympathizing way, and then when he actually sees that, he actually favors the living entity, right? So this very amazing, this one definition. So anukampa means like that. What is that? Going or putting oneself on the shoes of the others, like that. It's more very, very superlative, kind of definition on that lines. So the Lord, when he sees the sincere effort of the living entity, and then sincerely when the living entity is trying to practice Krishna consciousness, so then when he becomes very pleased, and when he actually feels that this person is like really actually putting forward a lot of endeavor to actually please me, so then he actually reveals himself, so jnana deepena bhashvata. So this is like very amazing, this one, the Lord actually gives the remembrance of himself, right? So the first activity for a sadhaka is to diligently follow all that thing is mentioned by the acharyas, and by Krishna himself as understood by the acharyas. We put it through, and then we sincerely anticipate the mercy of the Lord, and when we sincerely anticipate the mercy of the Lord, then the Lord out of his own accord he actually gives the mercy and the blessings in the form of remembrance, in the form of natural affinity towards the devotional service. Something is burning. Some plastic or electric. Huh? Oh, outside, okay. Mm-hmm. So this is something that a specific nature of the spiritual this ones, that it cannot be attained by force, or it cannot be attained by any mechanical means. So by mechanical means, what is the highest platform that a living entity can attain? So Brahman. Even for that some blessings are needed, but then we can kind of put through many millions of lifetimes and then we can hope to attain that. But entrance into the spiritual world, that is something like which is very, very special, and that requires a special mercy of the Lord. So all other things requires mercy of the Lord, so this requires really special mercy of the Lord, which the Lord doesn't so easily give it. So that is the special aspect which is there. So this the senses, the sense objects, and so when we are talking about the senses and sense objects, so we also have to take note of this particular aspect of how to engage the senses and sense objects. So it is a field of activity. I was just coming across one nice example in this section, that the lamp, when it is properly lit, it actually illuminates, and when it is improperly lit, it actually creates this one, darkness actually. So the senses and sense objects, when it is properly brought together, it actually becomes the source of illumination, and when it is improperly brought together, it actually becomes the source of creating darkness. So this is very nicely dealt with in Bhagavad Gita, that when the activity is performed for the yajna, so then it becomes like releasing from the karma bandhana. So but when the activity is performed for one's own self, so then it actually creates karma bandhana. So externally seeing, both activity may look similar, like eating process. Externally speaking, like devotees are also eating, others are also eating. So others eating actually creates bondage, and our eating creates like illumination, provided we are not doing atyahar and we are following the principles nicely. So then it actually illuminates. So this engagement of the senses and sense objects, this is the way that we work, and this is the way, like, if we have a body and if we have to work, so we have to work through this 5 plus 5, this 10 senses. That's the way, like, we can actually work. And for each of these engagement, we need to know the Krishna conscious way of engaging, right? So then it is very good. Then we can actually go ahead with the practice of Krishna consciousness. But even if any one of these things are not properly engaged, or any proper scheme is not there of engagement for these things, so then it actually acts as bondage. It's a double-edged sword. So in one way, like, you can actually cut the bondage. In another way, you actually bound yourself. So it is very, very essential for the sadhakas to study this particular aspect of how to engage the sense of touch, the sense of like the sense of seeing and the sense of tasting and things like that. So this is a science. And this science is not some theoretical science, it's a very, very practical science. So like every day, whatever we are doing, so like it has to be done in a like proper scientific way, because the senses and sense objects coming together seems to be the the source of bondage and also the source of liberation. So this has to be properly performed. So when the mind is absorbed in material sense gratification, it causes suffering, and when it is detached from material sense gratification, it brings about the original brightness of Krishna consciousness, right? So whenever we read this, like, when it is bringing about Krishna consciousness, that means the other aspects of the favor of the Lord and all these things also applies. So but from the point of view of sense gratification, so when the senses and sense objects are not brought together for the purpose of sense gratification, but brought together for the purpose of service, so then it is ghee lit lamp, which gives nice illumination, actually. So with this, I pause the discussion. Any questions, comments, or other points from the previous shlokas also, like what you people have relished, you can share, because I missed these shlokas.
Our Charuk Bhai Vaibhav, they're giving nice classes now.
Jai Hari Hari.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing nice points.
That's cool. So today we didn't have much purport to speak about, so I had to give things which I heard from other sources. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
So the point that you mentioned today, that we don't feel bad when our chanting goes by, because we are not heard sufficiently about it.
Hmm.
And second, we are not convinced about it to be the most important.
Hmm.
So you gave this example of one's hurt, ego getting hurt. So when I'm convinced that this is more important, my ego is more important, my image is more important. So at that time, we feel very bad. So that shows how much we are convinced about one's own image, to be very nice, etc. But we are not convinced about chanting. That is the most important activity that is there. And this point is also very nice, that to program one's material existence, so only exposure is enough. But then when it comes to the spiritual aspects, we need exposure and along with that mercy. So this question was asked to one of the senior devotees, that our kids are not becoming devotees. So what should I do? So the devotee was saying that your job is you give a platform to practice bhakti, and you give exposure or devotional service to them. Apart from that, you cannot do anything. The rest answers in this class. That mercy has to flow. Then there is some transformation that can happen.
So adding to that, this one I heard in a few other classes also, that one is nice environment, another is trying to be a good role model for the child. So not having some unreasonable instructions like, no, मैंने नहीं कर पाया, तुमने करो. मैं ठीक से chanting नहीं कर पाया, like, no, you do. मैं ठीक से भक्ति नहीं कर पाया, तुम करो. And बच्चे बोलते, तुम नहीं कर पाया तो मैं क्यों करूँगा. So but then, like, whatever material activity they are doing, and this one devotee was telling nicely that children's I think our who told our one of our Bhakti Vaibhav teacher, the children follow 50% of what good things you are doing and 200% of what bad things you are doing. Who told this?
This 10 years we experience.
Experience also. But still pramana is very important. If it goes wrong, no, I am not wrong. Anyways, so that's also very important. So we give nice environment, but then we don't set a good role model. Then it becomes also problem. Like that.
This explanation of Anukampa is also very nice.
Yeah.
The Lord also shivers with the devotee. He feels what the sadhaka is going through, and accordingly he showers his mercy.
This is on a lecture on some Radhikaraman post lecture on this one on some topic, but then he again surfaced this one about the materialism actually tending towards Mayavad, and then spiritualism is like more personal. And how personal it is. It is not that Lord creates the world and then like, okay, I've created something, like, whatever happens to you, if you messes up, like it's your, this one. So that's the aspect of karma. That's the side of the karma. And the other side is that, the Lord has set up the aspect of karma, but then He also travels with the living entity. He also sits as Paramatma, and He also goes through the experience of the living entity, because the living entity is very dear to Him. So like He sets up this one. So it is generally very heartlessness to say that if somebody is suffering, it's because of your karma. So that's definitely true. But then the aspect is the Vaishnavas, when they go through something, so they can attribute that to themselves. But for others, it is not a very good thing to attribute, especially for like for somebody who's a third party. So somebody who's like very close to us, and then we want to guide them and things like that. So sometimes maybe we can say that like maybe this is because of the karma, like let's just forget it and let's move forward. So but then if somebody is suffering, like, and then tumhara karma so then that is not very good. So it is like feeling their pain, like experiencing or feeling their pain. That is when we can actually preach the Krishna consciousness properly. Right? So like that. So that in that context it came. So I just extended it to this. Yes,
regarding this point that was mentioned regarding Anukampa, that the Lord Shiva's along with the devotees feels the pain. So this is for like when a person is advancing in spirituality, or even for material things he's feeling pain in that particular.
Bhokta, it is mentioned that what is the role of Paramatma? Upadrishta, Hanumanta, Bharta, Bhokta. And then that in that place it is mentioned, in another place it is mentioned about the austerities in mode of ignorance. So, or austerities in mode of passion, somewhere it comes that it it tortures the body, and it also tortures the super soul within. So like that. So it is we should understand that we must execute austerities. So like for the purpose of curtailing our thoughts of sense gratification and developing our thoughts of service of the Lord. So to that much we should actually undergo austerities. So like too much of austerities, which actually puts so much of pressure on the body, so it's also not very good, because the same body, the Paramatma also lives. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself tells that it actually causes discomfort for Paramatma. So like that. So the living entity, so it's not that only me, I am there. No, I'll try to punish myself with this body. No, it's also Paramatma who is there. So if you are punishing only yourself, it's okay. But it's also the Lord who's there, along with, and He is our worshipable object. So we have to see like what kind of austerities we actually perform. So it's from these things, I'm just guessing that the Lord actually goes through, or the Lord is like He likes every single living entity. So basically we can put it in this way, like he likes every single living entity and he doesn't like any of the living entities going through suffering. And also like in the discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur, so where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expresses that how will all these living entities be delivered? Like those who can chant, that's good. So but when other living entities they cannot chant and hear, so like how they can be liberated. So then Haridas Thakur actually tells that don't be anxious, my lord. So we will try to do something in this regard. So like when the loud chanting is performed, so then these inert living entities, like the living entities who have inert body, so even they can actually get benefited. So they hear and then their reverberation, like Haridas Thakur says that it is their chanting. So in that way, like they can also get benefited. So here also the aspect of the Lord's compassion upon the living entity, the Lord's anxiety for the living entity's condition is being mentioned. So and the Lord is expressing the concern for the non-devotees and especially the living entities who are even in much more precarious condition like trees and plants and things like that. Right? So even for them the Lord actually feels. It's not that only for the devotees he feels. So for devotees he acts. The non-devotees he doesn't act because he is just an observer. He is not which I have not found pramana till now, like proper pramana. So the thing is that the Lord is bound by the promise given to the living entity. So that I'll not disturb you. Or we have asked from the Lord that don't disturb me. So this is a very convincing argument in many of my philosophical this ones, but then still I have not found a solid pramana for this, like where the Lord and the living entity had a transaction like this. But it seems like that, for the so just a star. This is my own philosophical speculation. Yes, no.
Thank you very much for the nice place. Also mentioned that the mercy aspect is very, very needful in the practice of bhakti. So many times I think that by just chanting myself, reading myself, so most of the time I depend myself, not on Krishna. So this what I'm lacking. So I have to depend on Krishna also for the mercy. I have to put my endeavor simultaneously and aspire for the mercy of the Lord. This is very important. Any aspect of devotion service. So most of the time it's God messages. As they condition all the time I am the Ishvara, whatever comes up. So I have to change this and depend on the mercy of the Lord simultaneously, sincerely and seriously following the paths.
Last Saturday class, no? Or Sunday class. So Sunday class, we had this one. Prabhupada makes a statement. The Pandavas are the ideal example, for they're fully equipped and they're doing massive service to the Lord, and at the same time, always dependent on the Lord. A very amazing point that Srila Prabhupada makes there. So, yes.
This one question I had, that mind works in a particular way, the way it is driven by the particular mode. So the person remains conditioned because of that. So he keeps acting in the same way. So the mercy is the only factor that will help the living entity, or is there anything else? Because abhyasa is also there.
Practice.
So, but abhyasa also, it will be difficult, because the mind is conditioned. He'll act in that particular way only. So abhyasa is something which he's going to
goes against that.
So how will that work?
So one aspect of mercy is that the acharyas have given the ways and steps for us to engage ourselves. So that itself is a great mercy. So like which I was trying to study that bhajan, and we are trying to sing that bhajan every day there, and then trying to study that more carefully. So in that it is mentioned that atyanta durlabha prema koribaridan shakaya sharanagati bhaktera pran. So in this aspect, if we see, like these two things are like at least the first two things, the rest of it, like still I'm trying to explore. The first two things is like very, very clear. It is something that needs to be read, studied, and then implemented. So like do's and don'ts. So this is very essential, and whether we like it or not, we must do it. So that level of conviction, that level of this one, is itself a good a good platform. It's a thought process of a civilized man, and it's thought process of a civilized man who is who's favored by the mercy of the Lord. So that's the initial mercy of the Lord, that we get faith in the process, and then we try to apply ourselves in the process. And the conditioning and this one is like not very favorable. So the mind and the whole material conditioning is not very favorable. So but then I act in a different way, to like control that, just because it is given to us by the acharyas. So in this bhajan also it comes like Rupa Sanatana Pade, Dante Trinakori, like what is that? Bhakti Vinoda Pade Duha Padadori, like that. So he mentions this one, that the process is there. I can just do the process. What's the point of offering obeisances to Rupa and Sanatan and things like that? So it's like the process is there, but still I need the mercy, of these personalities, and that's when I'll be able to do this properly. So like one level of mercy is that I've come to a point of understanding this is right, and I've got sufficient strength that to say no to the mind and then to execute what is proper. So that is one level of mercy. And then like I need further mercy to actually overcome and to actually become Krishna conscious, like that. So this is a good acceptable level of Krishna consciousness, where the mind is not Krishna conscious, but then I am diligently trying to oppose the mind and trying to do the Krishna conscious principles. So that itself is called as an acceptable level of Krishna consciousness. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. So as you mentioned that the mind is conditioned from before in the different modes. So the process is of abhyas, reconditioning the mind about spiritual things, that how to increase these things, re-emphasizing how if chanting is not good and mode of service is not good, then that is the sixth state of existence, and we have to get out of it. So if we again and again condition the mind in that way, then the mind will start thinking if these things are not happening properly, then there is something wrong. Instead of getting affected by the material things, like when the ego is after some of the other material things. So if we recondition in that way, then we'll be able to nicely make progress in spirituality.
So in this reconditioning process, I was just contemplating that so when we glorify for some nice service or some nice achievements and things like that, so that's also a nice expression. That is definitely we need to offer manadena is a very important principle of devotional service. And at the same time, so as all of us are trying to improve as as a sadhaka, so like we should also know that this is this acceptance of this particular thing as a credit to ourselves, then it can actually create another kind of this one. So what samskara it can actually create? Okay, this is what is valued in this community, and this is what is something that I have to aim for, and this is what is the goal of my life, to become the best preacher or to become the best quantum of service that I can do and things like that. So but if we see that's why sufficiently we should also discuss about the qualities, and the qualities like of humility, the qualities of the service attitude, and this is actually the victory that we can get over the material nature. So we should not get diverted through some lollipops. We should not be cheated by some lollipops. We should be really this one about philosophical, and also really concerned about the actual goal, and we should not be we should not lose focus from the actual goal, which is development of the Vaishnava qualities, and which is attaining Krishna Prem. So we should be focused on that particular thing, and that requires a lot of shravanam, a lot of discussion. This is what is our goal, and then like yeah, manadena has to happen. So that's also anga of bhakti. So like when we do it, when we do it, we really do it. And then when we discuss it, when we discuss the goal of life, we see that like this is what is the goal of life, the developing of the Vaishnava qualities, and attaining the favor of the Lord. That's the goal of life, and that needs to be made very very clear to us. And then we have to repeat that particular this one, because anything that is repeated, that becomes the goal of life. So if the environment is only like appreciation, so still there is a problem. So it's going to create some wrong goals. Because whatever is appreciated, that becomes the goal. I have to get more in that particular direction. So, and another aspect is, if the appreciation also can be there for sufficiently for identifying and glorifying a particular quality of a devotee, like a genuine quality of a devotee. So it is mentioned that Bhaktivinoda Thakur again mentions that if we glorify a material quality of a devotee, so then we will fall down. It is not very good. So simply artificially also we should not glorify. We should properly see, like this is a spiritual quality that is genuinely manifested because of this devotee's practice, and that should be identified and glorified. So then the other devotee also flourishes because of that, and we will also flourish because of that. Because it is indulgence or it is contemplation about a particular genuine spiritual quality, and that is going to help both of us actually in that way. So these are some of the things practically that we need to try to put into our association.
So that means that when we are glorifying someone in these material qualities or some aspects, so that means we are conditioning in a wrong way.
Yeah, it's charcha of material thing is happening. Material charcha. So material charcha can put both of us in bondage.
So we should stop glorification.
No, we should genuinely glorify. We should genuinely glorify.
Generally also for a material thing you are saying that's not wrong.
Means genuinely glorify the spiritual qualities that he has developed. Spiritual things like somebody is very new. We can glorify saying that he is accepted chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And like many things are there. Like we can actually brainstorm and come up with like for each level of person what is ideal to be glorified, and we can glorify those aspects, and that is nice.
Normally, what we see, we glorify. So normally, what is in service? How book distribution is going on.
That's good. That's good. No, that's even Prabhupada also appreciated that particular this one. So, but that alone should not be there. So if that alone is there, so then the goal becomes that ज़्यादा number लेके आना है. वही this one. That's very good. The Acharya becomes pleased with that. But the Acharya will become more pleased if we develop Vaishnava qualities. So like that. Okay. So almost only 2 minutes are there.
The remembrance of Lord comes in the mercy one. So for that we should follow the rules and regulations. Like Acharya told, and I to sincerely and spread for the
Mercy of the Lord.
Then if Lord gets pleased, he may shout.
And one statement of Dhan Garung was very nice to meditate upon. It's like, Lord is a predictable person. You can trust him. It is not that he may or may not. He may, but he will surely bestow mercy. The may is used like not just a little bit of time. When he will, we don't know. But he'll surely do that. That was a very hope-giving point. Yes, ठीक है. अंतर्राष्ट्रीय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. कृष्ण.